So I've just had my first blue. I've done the big introduction what I'm going to do here. And I hadn't hit the record button, or I hit the wrong bloody button on the camera. Anyway, how's it going, guys? It's me again. Last video I put out there, I tried to explain a few limitations of the 17 HMR. And looking at the comments, a lot of you guys understood what I was coming from, and beautiful. A lot of guys, yeah, I don't know if you really understood. I got the impression from a lot of yous that you took me as being quite green behind the gills. So what I've decided to do is come back out here in the field and we'll get some data. I've got the vision for my video on the head, and we'll see if I can get my limited editing skills to pan out the video that I want to pan out. So what I was trying to say out in the paddock about the vision and what I'll attempt to do with my limited editing skills is I want to go out the paddock, get some data. That's what I got in the head, targets, a couple of shots on the milk jugs, and then after I've put all that on the video, what I want to do is go back to some of my night vision footage, and I want to actually slow some of that down and analyze what was going on, because I've looked at a lot of that footage myself, especially slowing it down and pausing right when the shot breaks. And yeah, I want to put a full analysis on that, and I want to put a couple of videos there side by side, because you can see with the foxes, I've shot foxes in the same place, and the foxes both have they have very, very different reactions. So I'm going to push my limited skills here and try and get this what I can see in here edited on the video. So we're going to start with target 70 odd. Got 70 paces out there. I chose 70 paces because that's about the range where I'm shooting the bulk of the foxes out on foot. I've paced quite a few of them back to my shooting rig at night, and normally come up with around 70 paces, and they all look very similar to that size in the scope. Hence, while I'm out there shooting as well, I leave the scope set on 5.5 power for that reason. I don't often zoom it anymore. Chronograph is set. Get some speeds while I'm at it. I'm shooting from the death grip tripod, because that's what I shoot foxes from in the paddock. So yes, I can shoot tighter groups off a bench, but I don't have a bench when I'm out there chasing foxes. So I want to do these groups basically as I shoot them in the paddock. Only difference is I'm standing more often, but hey, we've got to have a few little shades of grey here and there. Last point is ammunition. 17 grain VMAX, that's what I'm shooting at the moment. So we're going to do the first group with 20 grain XTP hollow points. That was the last batch of bullets I had, so 50% of that night vision footage is using that stuff. These ones are those 17 grain AMAX, not the VMAX. These are those A17 ones that were available a few years back. I bought a box of them because there was nothing else available at the time, and regrettably you'll find out why. Last thing I'll do say too is I'm on a clean bore. I scrubbed this thing out for this occasion last night, and we'll do this while I can, because unbelievably we actually have a still day right now. So let's just try and get the show on the road. Okay, so Hornady VMAX 17 grain is polymer tip, or ballistic tip those call it. Took me a little bit to get things dialed in here. Took a little bit to get the chronograph to register. Target, I should be seeing it. Yeah, okay. Took a little bit to get some clear clarity on the target and get all tuned in here. So hopefully this time we can actually get what I'm chasing, if you're going to record. Hello, right, you're recording now. 14.5 power up in there. Let's get this heart rate sorted out. Error, Jesus. Error on number 2. Try one more shot. Pause 1 second. Yeah, and sun's moving, isn't it? Ah, fucking hell. Right of game, yeah, shooting this fucking contrast. Try again. Ah, 2459. Didn't even think about doing the last one, did I? $2,509. Gonna have a look at this target. I'm gonna turn you off. One, two, three, four, five, stitched across like a sewing machine. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the 17 grain VMAX. I failed to call in velocities. I started focusing so hard on the target. So 5 more on the 17 grain on the same bullseye, on the same target. Damn breeze whipping up when you don't want it to. I could probably elevate the scope just a tiny bit, but don't want to upset it. Turn you on, Connie's still going. Record button in there. Hello, record. Thank you. So yeah, same target. Just remember to call that the Connie results this time. $2,560. $2,538. $2,549. $2,470. Is it? One more. $2,497. So yeah, you're still recording by the looks of that. Now, 20 grainers. I'm not going to walk out there or anything. I'm just going to put the 20 grainers straight onto the right hand side. Just 5 of these. I'm pushing daylight. These will have a different point of impact. Yes, I do re-zero between changing over, but right now I'm not going to. Two, 4, 9, 3. Two, 4, 9, 5. Two, 4, 7, 6. Two, 4, 1, 6. Two, 5, 1, 9. And that's it. Alright, cool this one. Bye. And the last thing is the 17 grain, the CCI AMAX, but I'm going to put another fresh piece of cardboard up for that. So the extra 5, as you see, starts opening that group up. It's not as pretty as what it used to be, which is so bloody typical. These guys will go out and rely on 3-shot groups. Anyway, we won't go there. But yeah, there's the ballpark. And then there's your 20 grain bullets there. Quite a fair ways to the right, as you see. As I say, yes, I do rechange the sight settings if I've got to switch between batches of ammo. Try you there. I don't know what you can see, but these little LCD screens and glasses are not a good mix at times. So you're on your happening thing. 17 grain CCI AMAX. These ones were designed around that Savage semi-automatic 17 HMR. I remember that. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, get the heart rate down. $25.08, so 2508. $2671. $2667. $2567. Whoa, 2714. Okay. Kill that. Kill that. Whew, look at that. Screamer. Oh, can you see that? 2714? In case you can't, I hope you can see it. This is going to be interesting. There's those AMAXs there. I'm going to put another 5 in there for a reason. So I'm going to put another 5 in there. Here we go, second 5 of the 17 grain CCI AMAX. A17, no, A17s they were called. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the name. A17. On record. Same target. Shade's starting to come in now. $2,700. $2,649. $2,538. $2,662. $2,672. That's him. Next simulation, but here's the target anyway. Yeah, not bad, but not great. Last time I was grouping those things, the thing I was finding was they were shooting some pretty wild flyers. Like one in every so many shots was a bit of a wild flyer. So I sort of give up on them. So I'm going to lead into my next test. I'm going to finish setting these up and we'll come back to that. Probably can't make it out there now. There you have it. Every milk container I can find in the household lined up ready for this one. So yeah, let's see what this bullet does. This is going to be the one I'm using, the 17 grain VMAX, because that's what I'm shooting with at the moment on the Foxy World. I had been with the Foxy World. Not that one. One shot only. Turn you on. Get you on records. Hello. Bit grainy in there, but that's the world of pixels. Put the one fair in the guts of them. Pop goes the weasel. Turn you off. Oh, I shouldn't have opened that bit up. Always confuses me that. Okay, we'll go and see what happened there. Same distance, 75 paces, yards. Okay, what have we got? First milk jug, deceased. Can't see what's going on in there. Deceased with fragments in there. Second jug, we have an entry wound but no exit wound. Okay, and I see the remains. So you think there's only a couple of inches of actual penetration in there. Anyway, I'll empty this out and I'll get back to you. You're off. That's all we have left. A little bit of jacket, a little bit of lead and one little fragment. There's not much left of that sucker. I'm in two worlds here. I kind of want to repeat the VMAX to see if you get consistency in that and do it again, but I kind of also want to try the A17. Yeah, because I'm not actually shooting the A17s because I don't have a supply of them. I might shoot the VMAX as a second go in the last of the containers I've got. Yeah, I'll repeat the 17 grain VMAX for a second shot into those last couple. Now I know the 22 hollow point, 22 long rifles always normally stop in the fourth one of those. I've fired plenty of those in them. They normally stop in the fourth one. This time round you got nothing left of the bullet in the second one. Oh, here we go. Have a look. First one, blowing to shit. And the bullet impact closer to where I am. Second one again, bullet stuck inside it and about the same as what, ooh, there's a piece of the polymer there. Try not to lose that little sucker. And I see fragments of lead. Oh, there's another piece of jacket there. Yeah, I'll put you in there even though the ant's already moving in. Is that another piece of polymer? I think it is. Yeah. Oh, there you go. So 2 bits of polymer I've just found. Anyway, I'll put this all to one side again while I get this bullet out. Okay, so that's quite consistent with the last shot. It's just a bit of the jacket, a bit of lead left, bits of polymer on the ground there, a little bit of jacket left over from the last shot, or could have been either shot, that one. So yeah, okay, very, very explosive performance, but as I say, I still see them pass through on foxes, and you do the please explain there. Today's target's here, and a graduated measuring device. Yeah, they reckon it's for dressmakers, but I'm not a dressmaker. I'm a fabricator welder by trade, so I will not say centimetres, I'll be talking millimetres here. So the 10-shot group on the VMAX, 35 is an inch and 3/8. So yeah, inch and 3/8 group at the 70 paces. Not brilliant. The XTP 20 grainer, we're looking at 22mm group there, that's 7/8 of an inch. Yeah, 20, 22, 3/4, 7/8 of an inch at the best. These A17s, what are you looking at? Again, about a 30mm group there. Yeah, 30mm group. Get rid of that one. And that was that final group that I put in on the VMAX. It was just to make sure my sights were happy, that last 7 shots out of that packet of bullets. And again, you're looking at a 32mm group, 1.25 inches. We go back. This goes back to 2012, well, not long after I got the gun. Hornady VMAX, 50 metres, nice tidy little group there. VMAX, 50 metres, 1, 2, 3 there. The CI TNTs, I've circled 2 because the bench I was shooting off that day, a guy come in and knocked it right when I shot. TNTs, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? 22mm group thereabouts, the 7/8 of an inch, 50 metres. The gun probably doesn't shoot as good as it used to, but it's seen a lot of shots over its life. Like I say, 2012 was about when I bought it. Now, these are targets from way back. And this is when I first bought those A17s and went out to check them. Oh, here we go. Here's the interesting. The VMAX, 100 metres. Dialing the sights into 100 metres that day. It's a 32mm group. 32mm groups. It's talking 1.25 inch at 100 metres. Oh. A17s. This is only at 50 metres. Yeah, the bulk of the group looks good. I got turned off those bullets because of those. It threw wild flies like that, like crazy. And yeah, that's history. More targets over the years: 50 metres, CCI VMAX, CCI AMAX, XTPs, Hornady VMAX, XTP. Yeah. So I've done plenty of grouping and testing. Here's your AMAX at 75 metres one day. CCI 75, Federal 50 metre Federal group, Federal. So I've done plenty of testing over the years with this rifle. So I've busted out with this ancient artifact here. I've crunched a bunch of numbers, hurt the brain cells a bit. The mathematics are there, so we've ended up with the Hornady VMAX. Low velocity of 2470, high velocity of 2560 with an extreme spread of 90 foot per second. So the average is 2497 foot per second. Now that converts into 235 foot-pound of hitting energy. The XTPs, so we've got a low of 2416, a high of 2519, an extreme spread of 103 foot per second. Average 2480 foot per second, and hitting energy of 273 foot-pound. The CCI A17s, a high 2508, a low 2508, can't even read myself, a high 2714, extreme spread of 206 foot per second, average 2635, and hitting energy 262 foot-pound. Now, out of a comparison's sake, this is my old Lithgow 22. Shooting the CCI Minimag hollow points. It's averaging 1346 foot per second over the shots I'll put into that. You got the high 1387, low 1297, 90 foot spread, 145 foot-pound of hitting energy. Ignore that bottom group because that was a part of my sighting in during that particular day. Using that as your point of aim, we've got a 3-shot group at 24 metres. The peak climb at about 49 metres with a 3-shot group there, and then I stepped it out to 72 metres and put it the third 3-shot group there. So compare those nice tight little groups and that bullet trajectory curve to a 70 metre group like that. I'm starting to lean towards just sticking with this old girl. So with all that aside, what have we got here? We've got a whole bunch of flash numbers, and all the numbers look pretty good. Numbers always look pretty good. How does that equate to the real world? Well, let's go into the night vision footage and see some impacts and see how it looks. Now this first fox I've taken with a 20 grain bullet, and I've gone in to take the shot and it's gone click, and I've had to quickly reload because it was a dud bullet. And we've moved in a second. You'll see I'll go in and try and take a double lung shot. Right when I'm about to take the shot, this fox lurches forward. You'll see I end up hitting it a little bit too far back from where I intended. So this is a split second, it lurches forward because I've slowed this right down, and down the fox goes. He's gone down hard, and you'd think he was out for the count. For the inexperienced, you'd think it was a dead fox, but I have to quickly reload and put a second shot in it, or put it down. And that happened actually off camera. But if that was in the grass, that would be a long suffering fox if it wasn't put down. This next fox, same night, same bullet, same fence line. I'm only a couple of 100 yards up the fence line. This one's, something's got his attention in the stubble. I'm trying to squeak, make noises and try and get his attention, but it's not happening. So I go for the educated guess shot, knowing where his lungs should be, and I've done this with the 2D3 multiple times. You take him in the stubble just like this. I've lined up, taken the shot, and he initially looks like he's soaked that hit up and gone down, but he gets up and watch him take off as if nothing ever happened to him. He's just up and gone. This bloke was working a lambing paddock a couple of months down the track, and this bloke worked like clockwork. Caught him having a camp in the edge of the crop, walked in about 70 odd yards unnoticed, went for a brain shot because that's the best target that was available to me. So get steadied in here, take the shot, boom, lights out. That fox didn't feel a thing, couldn't ask for a better result on that one. This next one, same night, same lambing paddock. He's sort of preoccupied, he's aware of my presence, preoccupied, get about at 70, 80 yards. And I try and go for the base of the head here, in between the speed wobbles and the wind and everything, but it ends up whack right behind the shoulder blades, right in between the shoulder blades. That bullet should have gone through, broken its back, and pretty much made a mess of everything that's important. And again, you'd think that one would be out for the count, but yeah, it's another second wind here. Tries to get up again, and I've got to quickly reload and put a finishing shot into this one as well. Here is an interesting scenario with a few little 3/4 grown pups. This first one's got, these guys have got interested in the squeaky noises I'm making. About to take a shot at this one, and he gets up and moves to the left just as I'm about to fire. Right when the shot breaks, he gets up and moves there. Bang. Looks like the shot should have still taken out the chest, but it didn't. For some reason it's gone low. Fox has done a bit of a panic there. And then he takes his interest back to me. I'll slow it down again here. And this is where he does me a little bit of a favour. He puts his head down. I'm going to go for another chest shot, but he puts his head down for me right here, and it ends up being a brain shot. These are only about 30 yards, 40 yards, these guys. Then I take my attention to this guy, try and put one in his chest, and it's a hit. And you think at that range that should turn a little 3/4 grown fox inside out, but no, he takes off. I see another fox in the backdrop, but realise one I just shot needs a finishing shot, and I turn my attention back to finish that one off. This one's another little 3/4 grown fox, and it's a full moon, so I don't need the infrared light at the moment, so you get a very different image. I've got his attention here, and again I've gone for that centre shot, centre neck area, and at this angle, again, you would think that that bullet will go through and pretty much completely destroy that fox. And it looks as though it's an instant lights out, and he's gone down pretty hard, but keep an eye on him, and he does the Lazarus effect. You watch this. He does the old, yeah, and then he'll just boing, back to life, and I've quickly got to reload and put a finishing shot into this one as well. I really don't like repeating this footage and seeing it again, because I sat on this damn bank all night waiting for this fox to come in. When it does come in, I take the best time I can to thread that shot in the kill zone. Whack. Again, it should have been an absolute kill shot, but this fox goes down, regains itself, and take note of the front right hand leg. You can see it has had the bomb and flopping around, but that fox took off, and I followed that under the crosshair right up to the other end of the paddock, not to be seen again. Now this one, you'll notice the change of reticle, and that change of reticle actually marks where I've changed from the 20 grain XTP bullet. I'm now on the 17 grain VMAX bullet. So this fox was about to take a shot here, but he does me the favour and he breaks me away from the trigger when he starts moving in a bit closer. He starts actually coming in towards me, so, or I should say she with this one. She's coming in a lot closer. And I'll slow it down here because this is a very good comparison to the last shot. Range a little bit closer than the last shot, but I actually shoot this one in the exact same spot as I shot the last one. Difference is this one, here it is, boom, exact same spot. This one goes down hard, stone cold, dead. When I went out there and found her in the grass, she was lights out, dead. Another interesting example, again with the 17 grain bullet. This is in canola stubble, thick stalks of canola. So if you think any shot was going to fail, it would be this one. But there he is, got his attention, boom, whack, gone down, stone cold dead, hardly even kicked. When I checked on that one, it was complete lights out. These next two make a great back-to-back comparison because this one's come through the fence, picked up on me, and then I've taken time here, slow it down, and I've gone for a center neck shot. Bang! Fox has lurched back. It should have been a center neck shot, and there should have been a fox down, but it takes off like that, almost unscathed. Now the next one here, probably a bit further out, and I've taken pretty much the same shot. Difference is this one goes down and goes down hard. However, even though it went down hard, when I went up and checked up on that one, it was still alive. I had to actually finish it. It was basically a broken neck and lying there as a quadriplegic, so I had to finish that one off still. So looking over all this and breaking all this down, I kind of caught in a bit of a dilemma. You have the XTP bullet that is the more reliable, accurate grouping bullet, but it lacks the killing effect. And you've got the 17 grain bullet, which has a superior killing effect from what I can see with looking back on all the footage, but it doesn't group as reliably as the 20 grain bullet. And the downside is to see in the last video that I put out there, I hit that fox in the muzzle and the bullet blew up in its face and failed to get to the brain. So you can see there's a double-edged blade here with the 17. So yeah, what to do about it is the big question. And for the cynics that are still here, that are questioning me on my marksmanship capabilities, I have been shooting rabbits with a 12 foot-pound 177 air rifle, so I should have some idea on how to put a shot right where it belongs in a kill zone. Now the next point to address is those saying, why don't I use the 223? Yes, I have the 223. It's set up for this, spotlighting. I want to keep it set up for this, spotlighting. And what I post on YouTube is probably only about 10% of the amount of shooting I do. This is what I do for the mainstay, is this little sample I'm giving up right now.
Another female. Yeah, I did. Oh, fuck, that's not good hit. Hey, buddy. You're deceased. Yeah, you're deceased. Oh no, not another mess. Oh dear. Wait! Wait! Oh fuck. Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, okay. Oh, you're a big one. That was set up for tonight anyway. Howard 1500 2D3, plain Jane basic, heavy barrel on it, and just with the Olight.
Wow, what a mission that was. I just finished putting that video basically down as best as what I could see in my head. I managed to put most of it down. And Yeah, what a mission. Anyway, I'm just going to close the video off with a few last points that I've been trying to make through the video. Yeah, shot placement, 100%. I can't agree with anybody any less that shot placement is key. But I'm trying to also say that you need margin for error. And it's something that I'm seeing less and less of with the HMR. Next explanation, I suppose. What do you got? Doesn't sound of the pom pump, mate. You want to go wee? Anyway, what I'm trying to say, if your gun is consistently shooting groups like this under ideal conditions, all good and well, and I don't mean just for that one 3-shot group either. You need to go out there and fire a lot more than just that one 3-shot group, and then you allow your margin for error. You're out there wobbling around a little bit, you got your gun that groups like about there. There's your brain bucket of the rabbit, which is not much at all. So you got to try and put that shot through there, and as I say, when you got that room for error, suddenly you can only land your shot within that area. Then if your gun's grouping like that, you're running into troubles. Compensate, let's go for boiler room shots. Then you've also got to allow for animals being animals. They're never in one spot for very long. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't recommend the 17 HMR to new shooters, because new shooters especially need room for error. And another response too, I mean, if you're willing to go out there with your 17 HMR and you're that experienced shooter and you're willing to go out there and take on that Cape Buffalo or that grizzly bear, mate, by all means, fill your boots. You go do that. I'm sure Mr. Darwin's waiting on the other side willingly for you. As I'm just trying to highlight mainly to the new shooters. I think the 17 HMR has been quite badly overly marketed. The other marketing preach I heard was for saving of pelts. Yeah, that's a very fair point that you can say for marketing. Again, I'll just call that marketing. There's better options out there if you want to keep the pelts. Future of my 17, I don't know. I've got to use up the last of the bullets for it because it is expensive stuff. Availability for bullets for those 17s around here is not that great either. So I am going to be very seriously reassessing the future roles for my 17. For a long time, all it did was sit on the back seat of my car as a backup to the 223, and all I ever used it for was euthanizing foxes that had been bowled over by the 223 but still had a little bit of gasp left in them, which was very rare. And it was also a handy gun to have over your shoulder when you went out and collected that fox in case you stumbled across another fox on the way out there. So I only give that 17 that one last hope when I got the night vision. So I tried the night vision on the 223, didn't like it. I wanted to keep the 223 as my spotlight and rig, and I just thought I'd try the 17 in the lambing paddocks, how a lot of other people have, and so far I'm not exactly over the moon with it.